And now we have another of an ongoing series of insight reports into the live-fire world from our own John Horton.
Live-fire tournament has grown in many different ways since its inception in the mid-21st century. It little resembles its earliest ancestor, laser tag, which saw millions of energetic adolescents racing around multifaceted mazes, firing harmless light beams at each other and striving for team victory. The maze remains, if more sophisticated, complex, and intricate. The teams, too, carry forward to the modern sport, but the harmless light beams, well, even the very first live-fire match in 2051 resulted in 1 death and 2 permanent maimings. But like the Unreal Tournament computer games of 100 years ago which inspired it, the sport was born with a purpose. Redirect the aggressive energy of fans to vicarious spectation rather than direct violence. And for the most part, it worked. With an array of ever-evolving and increasingly sinister weapons, incredible physical and sensory enhancements for its athletes, and increasingly efficient energy armor, not to mention the vast array of stunning, fully viewable, multi-level customized arenas, the fanbase has and remains captivated, awed, and generally peaceful. Fatal injuries have dropped to only 1,500 a year worldwide, a 97% reduction over the 20 years ago. But the spectacle of an explosive rocket scattering virtual bodies for 1 frag each, while the actual targets are usually merely only immobilized, is slowly losing its appeal. Let us hope the next major change in the sport comes soon enough to rekindle the enthusiasm of its audience, or live-fire may begin a gradual slide back to the bloodbath of its early days. For WRAT Sports, this is John Horton.
And stay tuned after 2 p.m. for live updates on the match between our own Tail Thrashers and visiting Kenton Pyros. This is the first match in our new Underworld Heap Arena, and it's sure to be exciting.
Off-world space shuttle flights will take you where only a few have ever gone before. Visit one of our orbiting space stations, luxury resorts where every room has a view that is out of this world. Experience live fire like you've never seen it in our Space Hub low-gravity arena. For a getaway that's truly not of this Earth, contact Off-World today.
WRAT's field reporter Danielle Gresham was at the Starlight Jewel yesterday and put together this report on the latest from the club world.
As most people know, today's clubs operate round the clock, since they cater to both day and night shift workers. The Jewel is representative of the current Surriston club scene, and it is truly hopping here this afternoon. Many people will not be familiar with the Howling Dervish dance craze that's sweeping the clubs this month, which sees dancers whipped to a shrieking frenzy on the wings of Eagle High. This dance club drug was developed over the past 2 years and has truly electrified the atmosphere by allowing dancers to achieve an energetic, uninhibited high with no side effects, especially when countered by its antidote sister, Eagle Low, before leaving. Clubs like the Jewel have been able to cut down on security, insurance, and repair costs, as the drug cannot be overdosed, and unless the user is emotionally overstimulated, does not lead to wild, reckless rampages, as did many of its predecessors, including the infamous alcohol. The scattered twinkling stars in the ceiling of the Starlight Jewel blend particularly well with the space-themed holographic games the club offers, including the latest version of 3D interactive Space Invaders and Star Raiders. It's a fantastic time out for anyone from 15 to 100. If you haven't tried it, you owe yourself a visit, and it's only $150 covered. Getting ready to dance, this is Danielle Gresham, live at the Starlight Jewel at the corner of Ermine and Mercer.
Today, Danielle Gresham is live at the newly opened South Surriston Supermall to cover its grand opening. Daniela, what's the scene like down there?
It's simply amazing, Lana. This mall's been built to the most advanced of today's standards. A fully self-contained biodome, housing 15 levels of shopping, an indoor ski mountain, recreational lake with a gorgeous beach, forest walking trails, and of course the obligatory entertainment park, boasting the largest wave pool in the city. I talked to a couple of the shoppers who lined up for upwards of 30 hours awaiting the first opening of the doors to the public at noon today. Here's what they had to say.
This mall is awesome! Finally we have a place of our own to hang with friends in Sewiston South. Well, we had to wait long enough. My kids tried out every ride in the first hour, and now we're going to the wave pool to relax. I'm exhausted. Too tired even to shop.
I toured the gadget stores right away. They're really up to my standard. You can bet I'll shop here often. And the girls on the beach, they're just a bonus.
So, all in all, I'd say the public are in love. The official opening ceremony was postponed to a bit after 2 o'clock, when the mayor and his entourage arrived to do the honors. I'll report back when the mayor shows.
Thanks, Daniela. Sounds like a great place to visit. We'll catch up with you later.
Jarlsberg is a town that celebrates the rampant consumerism and environmental disdain of 100 years ago. And today we have a special report from Jarlsberg's yearly Festival of Decadence from WRAT's field reporter, Miguel Sanchez.
This little town, well away from any megalopolis, has built a reputation on its adherence to the destructive ways of the early 21st century that were responsible for leaving our world in its current state. Limited and ineffective recycling, unconstrained littering and pollution, the use of toxic chemicals such as pesticides around food and water sources, and minimal filtering or chemical conversion of manufacturing emissions make for a shocking picture. Visitors flock here each year to experience firsthand the destructive, irresponsible lifestyle that almost led to the extinction of the planet.
And how do the residents of this town cope with maintaining such a self-destructive way of life?
It seems that in fact many of them have become so accustomed to the decadence of this life that they have truly reverted to the era they embrace, and so no longer see, as the rest of us do, the negative impact of what they are doing. A living museum, in fact, complete with fully engaged and unrestrained inhabitants.
Thanks for this, Miguel. And enjoy the Festival of Decadence.
And Adam, I will be sure to not let it influence my own lifestyle when I return. This is Mohammed Iqbal Singh, here to tell you about Suspend Corp's Levy-Bed. Are you tired of those uncomfortable, restless nights? Then Suspend Corp's Levy-Bed is for you. Float in the natural comfort of null gravity, suspended gently and peacefully between the enclosing levitation feed plates. Levy-Bed's patented soothing vibrations lull you into deep healing slumber. You'll never wake up on the wrong side of the bed again. Change your future with Levy-Bed, only from Suspend Corp. We've finally been able to connect with someone on Shelburne Island for an update on what's happening there. Captain Hawkins, are you there?
This is Captain John Hawkins of the Shelburne Island Coast Guard. We believe 6 people were washed away when the waves smashed open the observation tower on top of the island's weather monitoring center. The center sealed all hatches and still intact. But one of our rescue pods managed to capture 3 of the victims, 2 of them women. We've yet to identify these survivors, but should have them safely within the complex in another 20 or 30 minutes. And now the bad news. I'm thinking this is far more than an ordinary storm. It's moving too fast. It's raising 40-meter waves and winds are exceeding 300 kilometers an hour. I'm thinking, will the forecast go out the window on this one? Thursday could be seen in the edge of this monster later this afternoon. Forget about Thursday. And don't expect it to have died down much either.
Thanks for talking to us, Captain. And please let us know as soon as you've rescued the survivors.
We'll let you know.
Are you missing that warmth that comes with the seldom seen rays of our own mother soul? Vitamin D deprived? Simusan will bring back that full body glow. Healthy skin is a healthy you. Order your Simusan today. Simusan emits a full solar spectrum, including potentially harmful ultraviolet and infrared rays. Always follow exposure directions. Side effects may occur in some people.
This is WRAT AM1700 The RAT.
And now the WRAT headlines in brief at 1:30. I'm Helen Burgess. From the field of business, the Southeast Asian cartel has just finalized a deal with the European Alliance that will see a reduction in tariffs on import and export between the two groups' member countries from 75 to 50%. This will realign costs of typical products like wine so that a moderately priced red from France can now be bought in Japan for about the same as an equivalent Chinese bottle, approximately 3,500 yuan or 100 euros.
And I'm Lana Zhang with a report on the field of technology. We have a breakthrough in transportation. Scientists at the Holder Institute in Stuttgart, Germany have been able to demonstrate molecular regeneration over a 1-kilometer range. This is the first stage of a workable cloning and teleportation system, allowing objects to be recreated at a remote location using detailed data taken from the original. The system test was performed using a common house spider. Larger, more complex subjects are now under investigation.
And I'm Adam Marlborough with a report on changes in our correctional system. The worldwide move towards abolishment of capital punishment got another boost today with the opening of the first fully sanctioned open correctional service facility in Rio de Janeiro. The complex houses factory production lines for prisoner manufacture of a wide range of clothing items, as well as a new live-fire tournament venue designed by Gregor Mello, famed for the groundbreaking Vienna Hanging Gardens tournament arena, suspended 3,000 meters above the Viennese city center. In addition, organ and limb donor facilities have been incorporated to facilitate the ultimate in combined corporal punishment and public service, as extreme offenders are sentenced to compulsory donation of critically needed body parts.
And finally, from the field of sports. The Spikeball Commission have received the green light from the international sports conglomerate to retrofit every remaining soccer or rugby venue and prepare it for Spikeball team use. The hugely popular sport emphasizes on-field brutality rather than gameplay, and condones rule violations, biomechanical enhancements, and gratuitous violence. With over 100 teams in the Worldwide League and at least 50,000 minor squads, Spikeball joins its sister sports of Speedball and Livefire as the only ones an eager public will now watch. A way for the average citizen to let off steam without committing violence themselves. And now, over to Oliver Shang for the latest on sports.
Starting with the Speedball report. On Sunday, the Domain edged the Gorgons 11-9, and the Scourge defeated the Lurkers 8-3. Yesterday's scores in Speedball: the Mambas pummeled the Invaders 17-7. The Urge over the Vindicators 7-6. The Jesters buried the Fist 15-3. The Aggravators 9-4 over the Crush, and the Bombers 12-8 over the Pillage. Today, we have had one game. The Mambas defeat the Bombers 11-9, but in the match, Clash Alderson, as already noted in an earlier report, was put out of the game indefinitely after leading the scoring with 5 goals. The Mambas will struggle to maintain their first place position on the league table without their star scorer. The Holy Horror are now leading the Killers 7-6 near the end of the first half, and tonight the Pillage will play against the Rush, the Lurkers against the Wolves, and the X Factor against Gorgons. In Livefire, the Crimson Tide swept away the Salvage 43-17, but lost their star Dredger to head injury, out for at least 3 months. The Destroyers were dominated by the Fraglords 33-14 in a brutal and devastating match in which each team lost 3 players to serious injury. The Red Lust were slaughtered by the Reapers 25-11 in a match at the Grim Reaper's home arena Family Plot in Hamburg. Today the Canton Pyros are in town to take on our Tail Thrashers at 2 o'clock, the inaugural match at the Underworld Heap. Extinguishers are, of course, at the ready whenever the Pyros play. Tonight, the Juggernaut take on Lock and Load at the Hanging Gardens. Oblivion travels off-planet to Space Hub and takes on the hometown Exactor in their low-gravity element. In Spikeball, the Blades were edged by the Crushers 8-7. The Miners were buried by the Cavaliers 9-3. The Reavers slaughtered the Carnage 10-4, and the Hellcats were in a standoff match against the Feral Dogs 4-4. The Dogs took the game in overtime. Now in progress, 10 minutes into the second half, Brash Basher has just scored to bring the Surston Maulers within 1, trailing the visiting Holy Crusade 5-4 at Causeway Stadium. Tonight and tomorrow we have several matches going on. The first, the Grinders will play the Icemen, the Vagabonds against the Howlers, the Torrent against the Ogres, Hellion will face Fang, and the Icons will take on the Thunder. This is Oliver Zhang reporting for WRAT Sports.
Rick Allen has an update on traffic for us from WRAT's Hoverjet 1. Rick?
Well, we've got no traffic snarls to report as of yet. You know, the usual build-ups just beginning on the main arteries. But I just flew over the riot scene on level 8. It's a veritable hive of activity in the air. Riot tanks are now hovering over the scene to complement the flotilla of their armored hovers that landed minutes ago. I'll keep you updated.
In today's world of fast cars and even faster women, you need something to help you keep up. Your friends at Masculo know how you feel, and we've got what you need. Stick It is a once-a-day patch that sticks on and on and on. Made from the purest natural and artificial hormones, Stick It won't let you down. And once you try it, You'll be able to stick it wherever, whenever, and however long you want. We guarantee it. Musculostickit is a dependent drug. Ask your doctor if Stickit is right for you. May cause unexpected side effects in some people. Do not use while driving or operating heavy machinery. Stickit is registered under the Food and Drug Authority as a mild stimulant, not for use by children under 12.
Located in our hidden warrens far beneath the city, WRAT's squad of intrepid reporters infest the city, unseen and unlooked for. Combined with the magic of video, we are the eyes and ears of this metropolis. And we're here 24/365 for you.
And now, in full, we bring you the song that started it all, sweeping the clubs with the howling dervish craze. Dervish Dance by the Desert Nomads.
And now we turn back to the situation at the corner of Eddie-Art and Truscott, where the riot squad is being called in to try to deal with the violence that's developed. Ann Kelso is with us live. Ann?
Adam, I'm estimating there are now over 10,000 people on the streets within a 3-block radius of the African Syndicate Embassy. We've learned that much of this is due to a mass exodus from the clubs in this area following the explosion. The club revelers poured out onto the street, still buzzing under the influence of Eagle High, and adrenaline pumped and ready for trouble. You know the rest. All the buildings in this zone have been locked down, and the riot squad has descended in force. At least 30 squad hovers, probably upwards of 500 troops in fully sealed energy armor, equipped with suppressor cannons and sonic pistols. It feels like a live-fire game zone gone wild down here, as I stand at the periphery of the blockaded area.
And I've been watching the scene from Citycam 712, and it is true chaos. Anyone listening who wants to see how bad things are, take a look. And you watch your back out there. Now tell us, from your perspective, down there on the ground, do you think the riot squad tactics are working?
Always ready for action, Adam. Yes, the suppressor cannons have been doing their job, stunning hundreds and leaving a swath of unconscious people. Wait just a second. Adam, there's a major altercation outside the Carswell Bank about a block away. I see flames shooting up, and I'm sure you can hear the gunfire. I'm going to try and get in for a closer look.
Hey there! Get that microphone out of my face!
I'm with WRAT. I need to get through so I can tell the city what's really going on here.
Lady, I don't care who you are or where you're from. You've crossed our safe boundary, and if you don't return to the designated boundary, I'll consider you a threat. Is that clear? Get back to the boundary, now! Holy!
In the crowd. Fleeing. A huge blast. Maybe 10 meters away. Gouts of flame. Black smoke. Right perimeter's breached. Don't know if I can...
Even down here in the station, 300 meters below the city, we can feel the impact of some massive explosions up there. Hopefully Ann will manage to break free of the crowd and get word to us of what's really happening. You'll know as soon as we do. Stay tuned.